I'm fighting for half in my divorce after supporting my wife for 2 years. I met Laura in 2023 when I was traveling through South America for work. We hit it off immediately, and after 6 months of long-distance calls and visits, I decided to move there to be with her. It wasn't a small decision. I sold my car, quit my job, left my apartment, and packed up my whole life to move to another country. But I was in love and ready for the adventure. Things were great at first. We got an apartment together and Laura was working at this marketing firm. But after a few months, she said the job was stressing her out and making her miserable. She wanted to quit and focus on maybe starting her own business someday. I told her we could make it work on my income. I was doing remote work for a company back in the States making decent money. So Laura quit and I became the only one paying for everything. Rent, groceries, utilities, her phone bill, going out to eat, everything. I didn't mind at first because I wanted her to be happy, but months went by and she never actually started that business. She'd sleep in until noon, spend the afternoon watching shows, maybe cook dinner. I was working 10-hour days to cover our expenses in a country where everything cost more because I was a foreigner. Last year, her grandmother passed away and left her some money, around $85,000. Laura wanted to buy a small house so we wouldn't have to pay rent anymore. It made sense financially, so we started looking. We found this cute place about 30 minutes outside the city. Perfect size, nice neighborhood, exactly what we needed. The only issue was we weren't married yet, so legally the house had to go in just her name. I told her that made me nervous, but she said we were going to get married soon anyway, so it didn't matter. We bought the house with her inheritance money. No mortgage, owned outright. I kept paying for literally everything else. Food, electricity, water, internet, her clothes, gas for her car that I also bought. In June, we finally got married. Small ceremony at the courthouse with just a few friends. Right after, we started the whole visa process so she could move back to the States with me. It was complicated and expensive, but I handled all of it. The plan was for me to fly back to the US, gather all the documents we needed, and wait for her visa to get approved. We figured it would take maybe 6 months. I came back in August and we were doing video calls every day, texting constantly, making plans for her move. Then 2 weeks ago, completely out of nowhere, Laura texted me saying she wanted a divorce. No phone call, no warning, just a text. I immediately called her and she sounded totally calm about it. She said she'd been thinking about it and realized she didn't want to move to America. She didn't want to be married anymore. I asked if we could do counseling or talk things through and she just said no. She'd already made up her mind and there was nothing to discuss. Then she laid out her terms. We'd do a mutual divorce where we each keep our own stuff. She keeps the house since it's in her name, I keep my car and whatever belongings I took back to the States. We'd split the appliances from the house and she'd give back the engagement ring. I told her I wanted to fly back and talk about this in person before making any big decisions. She said if I didn't agree to her mutual divorce terms, she'd file for a unilateral divorce and keep the ring too. I was completely shocked. This was the woman I'd given up my entire life for. 2 years of paying for everything while she contributed nothing. A house I helped pay for that's only in her name because we weren't married yet when we bought it. I called a lawyer here in the US and explained everything. He laughed when I told him what Laura was offering. He said legally I'm entitled to half of everything we acquired during the relationship, including that house. It doesn't matter that it's only in her name. When I told Laura this, she freaked out. She said I was being greedy and that the house was bought with her inheritance, so it should be hers. Her lawyers are now threatening to move forward with the unilateral divorce if I don't accept her terms by the end of the month. My family thinks I should fight for what's fair. Her family is calling me horrible names and saying I'm trying to steal from her. All I know is I gave up everything for this relationship and now she wants me to walk away with nothing.